Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My nails are already prepped with a peel-off base coat, so I am going to jump straight into adhering my nail tips. For today's nail tips, I'm using these square C-curve nail tips, but you can use any of your choice. I'm also using Born Pretty's nail glue gel to adhere my nail tips. Now that my nail tips are on, I'm going to slightly file the sidewalls of these nail tips because they are a bit on the thicker side and I don't want them sticking out during application. Because I applied a peel-off base coat, I'm going to apply a layer of base coat over this just to ensure the durability. For today's polygel, I'm using this color from Modelones, and I'm also using alcohol as my slip solution. For the polygel brush, I'm using this Kolinsky brush. I'm honestly not sure what number it is. I do believe it's 10, but it's also linked in the description box if you are curious. I'm doing the 2-bead method for my application today since this polygel color is on the sheer side, and I do want to cover that line of demarcation where the nail tip and my natural nail meets. I'm placing a bead on the tip of the nail and I'm going to pat the polygel around, and once I'm satisfied, I'm going to cure it in the lamp for 60 seconds. For the cuticle bead, I'm going to do a slightly bigger bead and I'm going to carefully push the polygel up towards the cuticle very slowly. This will cover that line of demarcation I was mentioning earlier, and if you can't seem to cover it even when doing this, I do have a trick for you later in this video. Whenever you see my brush leave the screen and I come back up, that's me dipping my brush into the alcohol and just adding some slip back to the brush. And I'm basically going to repeat that same process on the rest of the nails. Here is how my application is looking. I'm going to go ahead and wipe away the sticky layer from the polygel using alcohol. I have my dust collector ready in my hand file, and I'm going to shape my nails down. The first thing I like to do is to file the sidewalls just to make them a bit more straight, because remember, since I use C-curve nail tips, they can bulk out a tiny bit. Now that we are done filing, we are ready to begin the gel art. So today's gel art is actually inspired by this comment, so we are going to do something very beginner friendly today. Also, I did mention I had a trick for you guys to cover that line of demarcation because there are some nails that I did not successfully cover. I'm going to be using padding gel, which has been my latest nail obsession lately, and I'm going to use the color that's closest to the nude polygel, and I'm going to apply a very small amount because trust me when I say this, a little really goes a long way. Once I have the gel on my sponge, I'm going to pat the gel on the nail, and you should get coverage in just one layer. But if you don't, you can always build it up. Alright, so let's really begin the nail art. I'm going to be painting Frenchies on these nails, and I also did get a comment about the nail art brush I use, so I decided since this is a beginner friendly video, I will cover it. For the nail art brushes, I use this brand from Amazon, and I like using the long brush. I feel like I have a lot more control when I am painting or drawing any type of line art, especially with French tip. Before I begin anything, I do like to wipe down the bristles of the brush with some alcohol just to lubricate it a little bit and to make it a little bit more wet in a way, or damp I should say, just so that when I do dip the brush, it does adhere a little bit better and the bristles soak up the gel polish. In this way, we are able to paint very easily. I don't have any real methods or special techniques when it comes to painting French tip. I do like to place a line or dot on the nail where I want my smile line to be, and then I will connect a line from the sidewall to the center where we placed that dot. This just makes it easier to map the French, and I will do that on both sides. You honestly shouldn't worry too much about the lines being perfect at this point because we are building a foundation here. And you basically want to repeat that same process on the rest of the nails since we are painting a French on all of them. For the 3D gel flowers, I'm using this solid nail glue gel from Makartt. As a beginner, I think it's best to have clear and white for solid nail glue gel. I do like to roll out a log and separate it into pieces. This just makes it easier to map out the petals when we do need to place them on the nail. And please do not judge me, guys. I really did mess up this pointer finger. I think I was a little distracted when I was doing this, so we're gonna ignore that. But I am gonna get into the technique on how I create these gel flowers. I like to place one of the beads on the nail, and I'm going to be using the pointed edge of the Silicone Mold Tool. And this part is where you want to add pressure. This basically does all the work for you when you are creating a petal. Even though I wanted this nail set to be as simple as possible, I just couldn't resist the need to add some 3D gel art, but don't worry, this part is very easy. I'm using the same long liner brush and I'm applying rhinestone gel at the tip of the brush. This will make our 3D lines completely effortless because all you really need to do is paint a line. Now we need to add some flare to our 3D flower. I'm applying a thin layer of cream, almost yellow gel polish. I also want to add some dimension to the flower, so I'm going to be using airbrush paint today. To finish this look off, I'm going to apply top coat on all of the nails and I'm going to cure it in the lamp for 60 seconds. So here are how my nails turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is actually my favorite summer nail set. I really wish I did both hands since pink is one of my favorite colors. The length is just perfect for me and it came out so cute. I do have everything that I used linked in the description box. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and thank you all so much for watching. I do hope to see you in my next video.